American culture is rich and unique, with several practices that feel second nature to its citizens, but can leave visitors bemused. These quirks span food, social customs, lifestyle habits, and daily conveniences. Lifestyle and social norms. 1. Workaholic culture. Americans often prioritize productivity over leisure, working longer hours than many other countries. 2. Drive-through everything. From food to banking and pharmacies, the US excels in convenience. 3. Wearing pajamas in public. Casual attire, even pajamas in public, is surprisingly acceptable. More water in the toilet means a more powerful flush, so there's logic to having a bowl that fills up quite high. Try explaining that to non-Americans when they slop off to the John and get a fright. They're used to far less toilet water. 4. Tipping culture. Mandatory tipping confuses those from countries where service fees are included. Food and dining. Supersized portions. Serving sizes in the US are significantly larger than in other countries. 2. Refill culture. Free drink refills, especially for water, are common and surprising to non-Americans. Having under-the-sink garbage disposal units. In the US, after eating, you scrape your leftovers into the sink and let the garbage disposal take care of things. Outside of America, this concept is so alien it's almost frightening. What if you get your hand stuck in there? 3. Fast food fixation. The frequency of fast food consumption is unmatched elsewhere, driving incredibly long distances. The US is a big country. It's enormous, in fact. At 3,809,525 square miles, that means a lot of places. Sometimes those places are very far away from other places. Very few foreigners can empathize with this, though. So where a Texan might think nothing of a 4-hour trip to visit friends, the notion would appall many Brits, or, say, the Swiss. Measurements and systems. 1. Imperial measurements. Distances in feet and temperatures in Fahrenheit contrast sharply with the metric system. Eating sweet things for breakfast. Sugary food first thing in the morning isn't the norm worldwide. Syrup-drenched pancakes, Pop-Tarts and donuts are seen as desserts in most countries, and the idea of eating sweet things for breakfast would appall a lot of people overseas. This doesn't apply to the pastry-loving Europeans, though. 2. Writing dates as MMDDY. This format often confuses those used to day-first formats. Cultural practices. Talking so openly with strangers. There is an unreserved and open nature to the majority of Americans that tends to see chit-chats with strangers result in a rather familiar tone pretty quickly. That's probably a good thing. But to most cultures abroad, it's seen as over-familiarity. Such openness is reserved for close friends and family only. Drinking root beer. Root beer is an acquired taste. Many folk in the States won't really appreciate that fact because they already acquired the taste for it long ago. But for the uninitiated, it can taste a little bit like fizzy medicine. 1. Cheerleaders at sports games. These dance squads are uniquely American. 2. Pledge of Allegiance. Starting the school day with a patriotic pledge is a distinctly US tradition. 3. Heritage identity. Americans frequently identify with ancestral roots, e.g., I'm Italian, even if they lack direct ties. Conveniences and peculiarities. Wearing shoes in homes. Provided your shoes are clean. Who cares if visitors wear them in your house, right? Right. Not so in a lot of other countries. Sometimes, as in Europe, it's a politeness-cleanliness thing, whereas in many Asian cultures, it's a sign of respect to remove footwear when strolling into another person's abode. 1. Red Solo cups, an iconic symbol of American parties. A lack of polite niceties. On the face of it, most exchanges with strangers in the US tend to be very pleasant, but Americans tend to get to the point and do away with the pleasantries. This is streamlined conversation, but often tends to be regarded, especially by the English, as quite rude. 2. Pharmacies selling everything. US drugstores double as convenience stores, selling food, toys, and more. Having such a low vacation allowance at work. The average American worker gets 11 days of paid vacation a year. That's just shy of 1 day for every month worked. That may seem okay, but that's only because Americans are used to it. In the UK, it's more than double that number. In Iran, it's 27. 3. Wide bathroom stalls. Bathroom designs with large gaps between stalls are odd to international visitors. Having hardly any public transport, Japan, Europe, Australia. Pick pretty much anywhere in the world, and it has a pretty impressive, reliable and wide-ranging public transport system. The United States, on the other hand, has quite a limited infrastructure, especially given its scale and wealth. This list showcases the diversity of American culture and its impact on daily life, illustrating how even simple habits can be seen as uniquely American. Tax generally not factored into price tags. Most places you go to on Earth, you'll walk into a shop, see a price tag for an item, and that's how much it'll cost. Taxes have already been applied. Not so in the land of the free. You've got to add the tax on top, which, you have to admit, is extra arithmetic that none of us really want to undertake.